Good morning. Welcome to this edition of the Richard Urban Show. I am your host, Richard Urban, coming to you from historic Harpers Ferry, West Virginia. We present news and views from God's point of view. And this is a show that is more geared toward unificationists, those who have been, part of the movement of True Father Myung and his wife for, maybe more than 10 years. So if that's not you, maybe the show isn't for you. So, first of all, I want to apologize to those on YouTube that I never posted a video up that I've actually moved to Brighteon, BRIGHTEON.com, as to all the issues of censorship on YouTube and so on, which I can talk about in another video. So this topic is what happened to True God's Day. So I was recently, it's January 3rd, 2023 today. So a couple of days ago, I wanted to print out the Unification calendar. And formerly you could find it online, but now the calendar has been changed. And I found it quite shocking. So first I'm going to show you a memo explaining why it was changed. And then I'm going to talk more about that. So let's look at that memo now. So here you can see that memo here. This is from the Australia Family Federation site, posted May 31st, 2020. At a glance, Heavenly Parents Holy Community will be the new umbrella housing all Unification subsidiaries, including Universal Peace Federation, Family Federation for World Peace and Unification, and Women's Federation for World Peace. Chanil Temple, the new Heavenly Parents Temple in Korea, will be built and offered to heaven in spring 2023. And this especially caught my attention. All Unification events and holy days will now be celebrated on the 16th day of the third month of the lunar calendar. True Mother appointed Dr. Young Ho Yoon as Director General. So I thought, whoa, wait a minute. I had heard this, but I hadn't actually read it. And this is from Mrs. Moon's May 8th, 2020 speech. So here it says, the importance of the 16th day of the third month of the lunar calendar will be conveyed and passed down to generations for eternity, said Mother on May 8th as she addressed unifications who had gathered at the HJ Heaven and Earth Chumbo Training Center. She shared the province and historical significance of the date with unificationists in the room and those participating online. Quote, the perfection of the province is akin to the spring season. It goes full circle, unquote, she said. Quote, all events and holy days, even True Parents' Day and Heavenly Parents' Day, i.e. that's True God's Day, which she changed the name, will now be celebrated on the 16th day of the third month of the lunar calendar. That's March 16th on the heavenly calendar, which is based on the Korean lunar calendar. I should also point out that the Family Federation is not transparent about these things. They're trying to actually hide some of the things that Mrs. Moon is saying, that Mother is saying. If you go down here, for instance, this was originally taken from the Family Fed US website. Well, guess what? When you now click this link, it's not there anymore. Now, you can find the speech, but this memo is gone. And some of the exact quotes you don't find in the written speech. I don't know if it's in the audio or not. So clearly they're not really making it easy to find this information. Why not? I mean, if this is what the leader is saying, so something is clearly going on here. So let's talk about what's going on here. So Mrs. Moon, Mother Moon, has said now, since Reverend Moon ascended, True Father Moon ascended in 2012, she's the only begotten daughter. She's telling us that she restored Father, actually. She had a lecture series going on where she said, Father is actually sinful, and she restored him. Which was now they say that that's not no longer going on, but actually that's what she was teaching. But there was, I guess, blowback from that, obviously. So this is just a complete mess. It's not just a mess. It's really very insulting and harmful. It's harmful to, true Father, and it's harmful to God's providence, and it's just outrageous. So think about this: True God's Day, the penultimate holy day, is now, and that's my lovely wife Stacy in the background there. Is now no longer celebrated. It's all celebrated on March 16th. So I suddenly realized upon reading this memo, although I had heard about it but hadn't paid attention, I get it. I get it why she had to eliminate True God's Day, True Parents' Day, True Children's Day, True Day of All True Things, Foundation Day for the Nation Unified World, Day of God's Eternal Blessing as well. The and even the Foundation Day holiday. So these like eight holy days, you know, they have all been wrapped into what was formerly not a holy day. Actually, March 16th, the wedding anniversary, is not a holy day. Well, why? Well, Mother Moon, Mrs. Moon, was a 17-year-old young woman at that time. And True Father explained clearly she had to go through a course to become, the position of true mother. But now she's claiming she was basically born like that. If you go back to the speeches like from 2014 and since then, she's saying, oh, I didn't need to learn anything from the divine principle. I already knew all that. It's like, what? you know, oh my gosh. And now she's, all the complete rebellion has come out. And I call that a rebellion. Sure, it's a rebellion. All the words that True Father said never to change, she changed them, made a book, the Chun Sung Young, that she made, which is the same name, which is, a much shorter book with many, many edits that has like 80 some references to the sexual organ, whereas Father had over 600. And in fact, they changed sexual organ to reproductive organ. I guess you're only, it's Catholic now, only have sex if you're going to reproduce, maybe. I don't really know. I mean, it's a radical departure. I mean, I do know that it's a radical change. So why did she have to do this? Okay, because True Father had said that at the Foundation Day, which is January 13th, 2013 on the heavenly calendar, then the perfection level blessing would be held. And that was originally be held in 2012, but Father postponed it to 2013. Why? Because there were issues he was, of disunity with Mrs. Moon. So she could not be perfected yet, and he had set a date, in 2013 when she would be perfected by. So perfection is something, that based on human responsibility. So what's the problem with that? Why did Mrs. Moon, in my humble opinion, have to change that? Well, she had to change it because if she's not perfect, her whole narrative collapses. That means that she has, she, of course, she should never have changed True Father's, 8 textbooks. She never should have changed all the holy days. Why did she change God's name from Heavenly Father to Heavenly Parents, and so on and so on? And then wrapping all the unification communities under her thing. Why is she constantly having to form new organizations when True Father already formed them? The Universal Peace Federation was to stand on its own. Now she wants it under her organization. you know, well, there's a reason, because this is a complete rebellion against True Father. And of course, you see what she thinks of True Father, that he was a sinful man. He couldn't control his sexual organ. Well, I don't believe that to be true. And read Father's speeches, what he's saying, and what I know about True Father, and all the teachings of True Father, and it's simply not true. So, getting back to my main point, why did she change it? Because if she's not perfected, then her whole narrative's out. How could she be the only begotten daughter? And Father said that the perfection level blessing would occur, and in fact, it never occurred. Now, was Foundation Day successful? Yes. We, just like Moses could not enter Canaan, we, i.e., the blessed central families, the blessed families, could enter Canaan, but True Father and Mother could not enter Canaan. at that time. But it still was successful because the tribe messiahs could enter and victory was won. So if mother is not perfected, then that goes against her whole narrative of the only begotten daughter and changing everything around and how she's one with true father, which anybody with common sense can see is absolutely false. So that's what I wanted to talk about. This is so outrageous. By the way, the Unification calendar, I'm going to post the traditional Unification calendar with the holy days on our site, visionroot.org. So you'll be able to find it there. That's based on the Korean lunar calendar, the heavenly calendar, which is based on the Korean lunar calendar, which is generally the same as the Chinese lunar calendar, but occasionally can be slightly different as far as the dates. So, of course, the heavenly calendar has our holy days, which, of course, the Korean lunar calendar does not. So, there you have it. This is just so outrageous. So now she's put herself, I feel, as putting herself above God. God's day is now under her supposed day of perfection on March 16th, 1960, when she was 17-year-old young woman, a girl, really, young woman, however you like to say it, who hadn't just met true father, so she had to go through a course. So I mean that is why she's saying that. And to put God's day, Parents' Day, Children's Day, all of the traditional holy days, it's just the ultimate, I don't know, call it what you want, hubris, arrogance. It's just plain wrong. It's completely wrong. And all you unificationists, now normally I haven't been talking about these things on my channel. I've got about, if you go back to the early days of this channel, about 15 videos about family federation. I discuss a lot of these topics. You may like to look at them. And I have about another 12 videos about the sanctuary movement, which I was involved with. So now I'm an independent unificationist. So do find me at brighteon.com and look at visionroot.org. That's where I post all of my videos, at visionroot.org. So you can follow me on brighteon.com. We have a social media site at friendica.visionroot.org, which is on the so-called Fediverse, where you can it's independent servers, so it's not censored. Anyway, so I wanted to bring this up. What happened to True God's Day? That is outrageous. True God's Day has been eliminated. And by the way, Catherine Coleman, I think I pronounced it right, she was producing the calendar even for a couple years after Mrs. Moon said it was not to be produced. But I don't find it this year. And I guess she, caved in or is participating in the whole schema of things. I don't know. But in any case, there's no calendar available. We'll make it available. You can simply, actually, you can even do it yourself on like Outlook, set it for the Korean calendar, and then it'll repeat the holy days for you. But anyway, I'll post one up for convenience. And I hope that you find God's blessing in this coming new year. True God's Day is January 22nd, 2023. Yes, it is True God's Day. Yes, you should celebrate it. And I highly recommend it. There's no one above God. Father never put himself above God the Father. In fact, on January 13th, 2001 was the coronation for the kingship of God. And 12 years later, on that Foundation Day. So God is always the ultimate and penultimate. So I just wanted to bring this point out, this outrage of eliminating True God's Day and all the other holy days and saying it's now the day as a 17-year-old girl she was wed with true father. No, she had to go through a course to become true mother and a further course to become perfected. And unfortunately, she didn't reach that goal. And we have a major rebellion that's been going on. Honestly, I think a lot of unification have realized that, but maybe they just want to go with the flow. Well, don't go with the flow. Be independent. By the way, we have a new tribal Messiah association and home church meeting, so you're welcome to join that. You can also find a link to that at visionroot.org. That's visionroot.org. Do be blessed. This is Richard Urban. Do join us on our Brighteon channel. I haven't posted any recently, but I figured for the Unificationist crowd, I would post this video, and I hope it's meaningful. And we'll see you again. Take care and be blessed.